Captain's Log Supplemental.
Fascinating.
Aye, sir.
Live long and prosper.
But it's a mystery. I don't like mysteries. Give me a bellyache and I get a beauty right now.
4 phases locked and ready to fire, sir.
In the hands of an adolescent.
I'm a doctor, not a mechanic.
You guys ready?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You good for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some Star Trek. Y'all ready? We wanna talk about. We talk about some Star Trek. Come on, do it. Now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it. We're doing it live. Do it now. Oh, hey.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody? We are your neighborhood village idiots. Welcome back to another episode of Trekking Poetic, a Trek-rospective. Big boom.
God, what is in this water?
Apparently, it is a complex space hybrid thing that causes you to feel like you're insanely drunk and makes you act completely out of control.
Damn,
And
Vito.
you'll know that when you hear a rattlesnake rattle its tail. Then you'll know that you're infected.
Oh.
Or it seems like you got some sticky thing on your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. What is that?
You got don't wipe your spooge hand all over McCoy, man. Come on. Megan's getting nasty with that thing. Anyway.
Damn it, Megan. I'm a doctor, not a jizz
I'm a doctor, not a jizz rag. Well, we need to market that slogan. Oh, man, that's great. Holy shit. Anyway, this is the Geeking Poetic Podcast. We're back here for another week where we talk about Star Trek. More or less, we talk
In a
about Star
roundabout
Trek.
way, we get there.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Larry Roberts. On the other end of the hall, king of them all, we have Mr.
Vito Marchese.
And then we've got old Jizzlopper over here. Apparently, yeah. She's getting jiggy with it over there with McCoy. Yeah. We have none other than
Megan Guess.
Yep. Yeah. That's who she is. Boy, oh boy. Leave him alone.
Hasn't he suffered enough?
Yeah. Quit stroking your bones. Oh, well, I suppose it's appropriate that we're talking about like inappropriate things since the name of the episode is The Naked Time.
That's true.
Even though nobody gets naked in this episode.
Well, you're like stripped down naked.
I know.
Emotionally.
Well, Sulu gets half naked.
Yeah, that's for
As
sure.
hell does.
Running around all sweaty and greased up with no shirt on and a sword. Oh my.
The way Spock looked in that black shirt in the beginning, I think he needed his shirt off. The way that looked. Some prime real estate right there.
She was all skulking for some Vulcan.
Oh man, that's rich, man.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. As we said, man, every episode of this just degenerates more and more.
We're only 5 episodes
We're
in.
only 5 episodes in, man. Yeah, so anyway, I'm sure just about anybody who's watching this probably already knows or you figured it out, but we are going through every episode of Star Trek. We started with the pilot, Cage, then we went through Man Trap, Charlie X, Where No Man Has Gone Before, and now we are at one of the better, at least, if not best,
So far, yeah.
one of the better episodes of definitely one of the best ones of at least the first season, for sure. Which is The Naked Time. A pretty famous episode, a very infamous episode for a whole bunch of reasons. A lot of to me, this is the episode where Trek kind of took off. It's like when the it's like the ball was kind of rolling. Just kind of slowly rolling along, from the cage through blah, 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 blah. No Man Has Gone Before. Yeah, all right. But I feel like this was when, like, all of a sudden, like, it started picking up steam, because...
This one hooked you?
Yeah, I think this hooked a lot of people for a bunch of different reasons.
Hooked Vito.
Sure did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we usually talk about it more at the end of the episode, but we could bring it up right now. It's your favorite, right?
Yeah, so far this one was awesome.
Yeah.
And for a lot of reasons. Like, it was funny and goofy, but like a lot of the scientific technical stuff was really fucking cool in this one, man.
Intense.
Yeah.
They introduce all sorts of stuff in it, like we're saying, one thing that got introduced was
The Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah, and why did he do that?
He was originally supposed to hit somebody over the head, and instead he's like, well, Spock isn't going to do that. That's very unrefined of him. So he created the Vulcan nerve pinch. And that's the first time it showed up on film.
Nice.
And it's cool that it's like something that was created so kind of
Off the cuff.
Yeah, I mean, now everybody knows about the Vulcan nerve pinch. I mean, it's such a gag and a part of pop culture, kind of thing, the Vulcan nerve pinch. And everybody, you'd go up and you do that, and
Yeah, everybody's going to know what it is.
they've spoofed it in Kevin
Spaceballs.
Smith movies and Spaceballs, all sorts of things, They've made a thing about that, and it was just something that simply because Spock or Nimoy felt that Spock clubbing a bitch over the head was just kind of bunk,
Neanderthal-y.
Yeah, it was just like, come on, man, this is, But that's the thing, like, well, let me even amend a little bit of what I said to be a little bit more specific. Not only is this the episode where I think Star Trek really kind of took off and everything and started to become more defined, but the character of Mr. Spock
Absolutely
became more defined because, first of all, with that whole thing, plus there's the whole factor of that whole nervous breakdown he has.
Right.
Struggling with his emotions and all that stuff.
And that's another one where he had them change it from what the script was. Because he was supposed to, like, be out in a hallway, and, like, some other people were, like, in the hallway with him. And he's like, no, Spock isn't not going to have his breakdown in front of other people. So he's like, put me in a room by myself. Give me a bunch of words like mother and love and math and stuff like that. And I'll have my breakdown like that. But
That's
I have
cool.
to do it alone. And then they came up with the idea of the camera circling him, so it made it more
Right.
surreal.
Right.
It's like it was a very tricky shot to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
back then, I guess. But that really made it even that more impactful. And he said his fan mail skyrocketed after that.
I'm sure. And it's cool that he, like, I don't know, well, maybe he cared about the character that much so far that he put that input and told the writers, no, that he shouldn't do that. I know this character well enough by now that he should do it this way or whatever. You know?
Right.
And isn't that interesting? Yeah, I mean, the fact that it was so early in the life of the character, but already Nimoy was like, no, I know who this guy
Envisioned how
is.
it
Yeah.
I know who this guy is. And, to me, it's a testament to how fucking awesome Leonard Nimoy was. You know what I mean? People can... the problem with these actors like Nimoy, Shatner, all that, they become, not in any way, I wouldn't say they're a joke at all, but they become so almost a caricature to people, and they become sort of where, even like, especially like with Shatner, people like to joke and riff on Shatner because of his acting style and stuff, but it's like, I don't think people give these guys enough credit for what they put into those characters and how much of themselves, like so much of who Captain Kirk was and how he was not on the page. That came from Bill Shatner. You know, Spock, obviously, like we said, that came from Nimoy, man.
Right.
I mean, you know, sure, you know, Roddenberry had some direction there and everything, but yeah, I give those guys a lot of credit because they made these characters
iconic.
Yeah, iconic and have so much more depth and everything to them. So anyway, basically this episode is basically about getting ludicrously space drunk.
Yeah.
And what goes wrong. You know, it's kind of like a bad frat party. You know, like on out in space where somebody brought like tainted moonshine and like people just start acting the fool. You know, right? So I mean, basically, it's the water, isn't it? The water gets infected.
The water possesses a complex chain of molecules that affect like alcohol.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's like
in
getting
the water.
space drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something in the water.
I love when they get to the planet and they've got those like biosuits on or whatever. And
Yeah.
Spock's like, "Don't take your suit off and expose yourself to the atmosphere."
And he
Fucking
immediately
Riley goes
takes
and
his-
starts picking his nose and shit. Like, dude, what are you?
Really?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Those suits were pretty funny though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That-
I love those suits.
yeah. And then zoom in on Nimoy where he goes, "Captain, it's like something we've never seen before," and they just like zoom in on him like randomly.
Yeah.
I don't get.
The zooms?
Yeah, the zooms and the extreme close-ups on this series, dude. What the fuck, man?
We need to when we're filming some of our
You
things.
need to remember that.
We need to like make a thing out of that.
Yeah, and they have like the eye light
Like,
where it
zoom
just
in
goes
like it's just an eyeball.
just a tip of your nose. Like, what are you? Why would you do that shot?
Just
It doesn't make-
just like the corner of your mouth while you're
Yeah.
talking. I cannot believe what we're about to see. And it's just like
It's
this
your
part.
mouth.
And then it's like you could be talking and be like, oh my God. And then it zooms into your ear. Oh man.
We're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, we should totally do that. But yeah, also I just want to bring it up while it's on my mind now. You know, it's a cool concept, and so cool of a concept for this episode that they revisit it in Next Gen.
which wasn't that good.
Yeah, well,
I don't like the next gen one, except because that's another weird one. Because Data has emotions and stuff, which he's not supposed to have. Just kind of like Spock did.
right,
You know,
right.
it's kind of a pretty funny correlation there. But fucking Data hooks up with Tasha Yar.
Oh, that's a very infamous scene there. It's awesome. That's the one
He's
when
got
he
this
tells
big
her,
ass smile on his face,
lets her know that he's
anatomically correct.
anatomically correct, and he's isn't he like programmed in multiple forms
Yeah.
of pleasure and whatnot. She's looking at him like, holy shit, living, walking, talking dildo.
It's a real sex doll.
Yeah, right.
Right? Yeah.
It's like I bet he can even like vibrate.
Dude,
Seriously,
that
think about
positronic
it.
matrix will get it going, bro.
Think about it. Think about that. I mean, why couldn't he? I mean, he's a robot. I'm sure they had some function in him that it could just like got that vibrating leg. You know? So
Just make sure you don't hit his off switch that's under his rib cage, because that might be bad. You know, if
Right.
he's stuck inside you and he's off and I can't get him off.
oofa. Anyway, hey, we warned you at the
Oh,
top
boy.
of this one, folks. This is going to be a raunchy one, but dialing it back a little bit.
Just a tad.
This episode also was supposed to be a two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
They were originally going to make this like a cliffhanger at the end where they go back in time and stuff, and instead they decided, nah, let's just wrap this one up for now, but then we're going to tie into it. And it was an episode that was later in the first season. It was Tomorrow is Yesterday. I like that one. I like that shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. So they
Oh,
kind of
really?
do the do they like acknowledge the time travel aspect
Yes,
thing?
it gets into that. Yeah, I think that's the first one. Then when they get into the time travel thing, and then that becomes a thing. They're constantly traveling in time and wreaking havoc in history and everything and fucking shit up. Not that we know anything about time travel.
Not a thing.
No.
Ding! We're going to add a little link there because hint. The March podcast topic is on time travel.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, getting back real quick to the whole thing about iconic scenes and development and stuff. Of course, one of the main things the first thing when you talk about Naked Time, even more than Spock and all that stuff, is everybody thinks about Sulu.
Yeah.
Sulu with the sword and everything. And then you were telling me that before that the whole thing with Sulu was that they originally kind of stereotypically they wanted him to do like a samurai kind of thing.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, because he wasn't. I remember hearing him talk about this before. Because wasn't he kind of taking advantage of like a little personal fantasy with this? Because he was really into like the Three Musketeers.
Right. Yeah.
Not Sulu, but George Takei was into the Three Musketeers and was just like, let me
really want to do this.
Let me show this off. Because, I mean, and I get it. I mean, it sucks, but to be fair, it's like, especially back then, it's not like George Takei was not going to get signed up to be a swashbuckler.
That's true.
In a movie or a TV show. I'm sure up to that point, it was always the Japanese guy, it was always that guy.
Right.
Military Japanese guy or whatever, this and that. So it was like, here's my opportunity to live out a fantasy. I guess he was like, I read that he was going a little nuts with that sword.
Yeah, he was like attacking, jumping out at people and stuff, and they like threatened the producers and stuff. Like, never give him a sword ever.
It'd be funny if
Again.
those takes that they took was he didn't even know the camera was rolling, that he was just going for it. And they kept the footage and put it in the episode.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess he actually like poked a couple people that were not happy about it. They were like, get that fucking sword out of his hand. He's taking this way too seriously. He thinks he's fucking D'Artagnan, So, but yeah, I mean, that was when I was, again, because every episode, folks, I'm going to bring this up because I saw all these when I was a young child. When I was a child, loved this episode as a kid. It was so fun getting to see everybody act out of character. And then mixed with the whole drama about the ship losing its orbit and everything because people aren't maintaining the ship.
And the planet is shrinking. That was cool.
Right.
Man.
Exactly. And then basically Kirk basically discovers he and Scotty figure out a way to go back and to be able to travel time, right?
Was it like a cold start or something it was?
Yeah, it was sort of like they mixed like matter and antimatter and
it's a big no-no.
In a cold state, that's it. Yeah.
Implosion.
And somehow that makes them go back in time.
71 hours.
Yeah. When they could have just used the portal in Vito's backyard. Or at the least the portal over on Avenue K in Hegwish. So that one will take you back to 1978. Just don't worry about it, folks. We talk about it in another podcast. But anyway, yeah. So I mean that too. All the things it established. Again, back to Spock again. It established the whole thing of Chapel, kind of secretly, Nurse Chapel, sort of secretly
crushing on him,
harboring
hard.
this love and thing for Spock and everything. And man, everybody loved Spock. Uhura.
Yeah.
They kind of touch on that. Uhura and Spock and Chapel and Spock. And you know why? Because he wasn't interested in any of them. And that's usually how it works,
Right, yeah.
It's like you got this ship full of horny and able guys, but the one dude that's all like dark and goth and shit or whatever is, tall, dark, and mysterious and unwilling. And that's the one that's like, but I want him so bad.
I can change him.
I can change him. I can turn him. Oh.
with my love, everything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Or
Don't
you just have to
bitch.
have Nurse Chapel's dirty ass space booze hands and rub it on his palms, and there you go. You got through. You got through to him. He break down to a blubbering mess.
That's what chicks do.
So is Nurse Chapel the original space MILF?
Yes. Yes. Unless you count what's her face from the original Lost in Space, Will Robinson's mother.
Mom. Oh. I'm trying to think what she looks like.
She's aight.
Just I.
She's aight. Yeah.
Aight.
Yeah, she's aight. You know, I was never into it. When I was a kid, I looked at her like, you know, she was old. She was a mom. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, she was okay. Oh, Lost in Space. That's a whole other thing, man.
You guys need to see the Netflix one.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I do
really
need to
good.
see that. Well, we'll have to save that, watch that, because, I mean, we're going to be talking about more sci-fi. Not like we're going to be talking about sci-fi much in the future on this show or anything, you know.
We're not into that at all.
We don't talk much about sci-fi on here. It's only like 85% of everything we talk about is something sci-fi related, you know, and then the rest is like Stephen King or superheroes, right? Yeah.
Pretty much so far.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. We like what we like. And it's good.
Judge, don't judge. We really don't care.
Yeah, we don't
We're still
care.
going to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we already got Vito's take on it, that it's his favorite up to this point. How about you, Meg? Like, where would this rank for you?
Oh, man. It might.
What?
Say it.
Say
it.
I don't
She's
know.
struggling.
So much pressure. I think I'm gonna make it number 2.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
Cage is still number 1?
I think so.
Think so.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time if it's which they need to switch or not. Depends on my mood for the day. But as of right now, I think I'm gonna go with number 2.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It's number 2 for me, because
Copycat.
yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry, you're copying off of me. You just
Didn't know
are.
it yet?
No,
No.
you're just copying off of me, bro. All right.
You want to take this outside?
You want to cool your shit?
Really? We're gonna do this now?
Just yeah. Cool
This
your-
happens all the time backstage, guys. It leaks over in the fucking show constantly.
No, in all seriousness, here's what I was gonna say. For me, because I love Cage so much and everything, this would be number 2. However, for somebody to say, at least in the context of these 5 episodes, if you or anybody to say, no, this is number 1, I don't blame you. You know what I mean? Like I have a particular love for the Cage because, like I talked about in old episodes, Menagerie was my first Trek. It's my favorite. So, and I love Pike so much and everything. But if I took that out of the equation, if I said, okay, the Cage is something separate, because it's
on
not
its own.
really an episode,
Yeah.
right? It's on its own. Then yeah, this is number 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It'd be Cage technically, kind of almost. I'll even say it's maybe tied.
Tied, yeah.
I'll say it's
I'll go with
tied right
that.
now. Tied for first is Cage and Naked Time. Number 2 would be Man Trap.
Yes.
Number 3 is Where No Man's Gone Before.
Yes.
And then last and certainly least is
As always.
Charlie. Charlie X.
Ugh.
Charlie Next. Fucking unibrow.
Are you Ariana Grande now?
Yeah. So,
Can we just talk about how awesome Navigator Riley is in this episode? Dude, he's a fucking gem. Where he's singing over the intercom and Kirk is like yelling at Uhura to shut him up. She goes, don't you fucking think I'd shut him up if I knew how?
exactly.
He's like, oh my God, not again.
And the way
Please
he just
no.
like frolics around the ship And when he gets to the doors that open, he goes, and he,
Oh my God.
dude,
I
holy
fucking love
fuck,
that
that was
part.
awesome.
We are
I'm gonna do that from
totally
now on.
spoofing it.
Yeah. No, from every door I go in that slides open, I'm totally doing that. I don't
be-
care who sees me.
Elevator?
Yeah,
You'll be
I'm
walking
doing
into Jewel Osco
Yeah.
and you're gonna be. That's awesome, dude. I'm gonna remind you. You need to do that when we go out. That's funny. No, man. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Everybody, the acting, it's over the top, but in a great way.
Yeah,
you know,
I had
that's
a grin on my face the entire time during this episode, man.
and that's what, like, to me, what some of the best Trek episodes, old Trek especially, episodes should be about. It's like watching episodes that are just bad but so good, like Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we get to that with the Gorn.
The Gorn, oh yeah, dude, that musicless one that you sent.
Did you guys watch that?
Holy fuck!
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
What was wrong with it? It was hilarious.
Dude, when he does that whistle before he throws the boulder down, that was so
that noise he
good.
made. And then they just show him laying under that boulder, and Kirk's just like, I'm sorry.
Oh man.
But whoever made that one was
You're a fucking genius.
Whoever you are that made that music video clip of a Arena from Star Trek, you're our hero.
Contact us, please.
Yeah. Maybe we should we'll have to add that, like a link to that for people to check out. So they're like, what are they talking about? It's great. It's so hilarious. And not having the music and everything just makes it it just emphasizes how bad
it is, yeah.
But at the same time, it's the kind of episode where you have a grin on your face through the whole thing. Whether it's because parts are cool or just so stupid or just so, over the top. Yeah. To me, that's the best original Trek stuff, I mean, there's some episodes that are genuinely like moving, that are emotional and everything, but most of it, it's
pure entertainment.
Yeah. The next episode has some of that too. That we're going to talk about. The Enemy Within.
Really good.
Oh boy.
I think that's going to be up there too.
The Shat goes where nobody's gone before with that performance, man. Yeah. The Enemy Within is going to be, wait till you watch all that one, dude. Oh,
it's a transporter accident episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I love me transport accident episodes, dude.
Oh, you're going to like this one. Seriously. Like oh man. He does
over the top. Oh.
It is over the top, but
acting,
it's great.
Good.
But it's great though. Like it needed to be.
It's a con.
Okay.
Kind of performance.
Okay.
But not, whereas that whole like Wrath of Khan is just one moment.
It's
like that
awesome.
through the whole episode, man. Yeah.
Now I can't wait.
Oh yeah, you're gonna dig this episode. I promise you. So, but anyway, I mean, anything else you guys want to say about Naked Time before we move on?
No, I think that's all I got.
I think you covered its greatness.
Yeah, we did cover its greatness. If any of you haven't seen it or you haven't watched it in a while, go back and watch it because
it's a good one.
It's a good one. Very entertaining and a lot of great performances. So, again, we'll be back next week with even more of their great performances. I can't wait to see what Vito's got to say about it because there's some laugh out loud moments in it, but in a good way. God damn, this is crazy. So, anyway, from Geeking Poetic, Trekking Poetic, a Trek Respective.
Save that for next time.
Yeah. We are saying farewell, good day, good night, and
as always, like, share, comment.
Man, that motherfucking bell. Ring a ding ding.
Motherfucker.
Take your flip a hand.
Ding ding. Ring a ding 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 ding.
All right. Okay, I got it. Oh,
You
wait,
got
no,
it?
I don't. I don't
Nope.
have it.
Nope,
I don't have it. Okay.
nope.
Nope.
All right. Oh my god, that's so freaking hard.
We got like 75 more episodes for her to get this right, folks.
I can't hold it.
All right.
Give her all she's got, Captain.
With that, we say peace out, y'all.
See ya.
This communication has ended.